My brothers and sisters, I commence by praising the Almighty, sending blessings and salutations upon Muhammad, peace be upon him, praying for all those across the globe who are struggling in one way or another, and asking the Almighty to make this beautiful month of Ramadan a month of solutions rather than one of difficulty, hardship, and greater problems. I must say I was very impressed when I walked in here. I had no clue that this amphitheater was packed to capacity. I didn't even know that there were people seated here. And when I saw that these people are actually all here and there is pin drop silence, I have to give it to you. Masha Allah. May Allah Almighty bless you all, grant you barakah, goodness, and blessings in every way. The patience and endurance in sitting here is remarkable. And I'm sure I heard that perhaps there might have been people who could not make it inside because the place is full. Today I'm going to speak about Ramadan. Everything about Ramadan. Ramadan explained, bearing in mind that we may have people of all faiths with us here this evening. When I was young, I recall vividly that we used to tell other children in schools, we have a month of fasting. And they would say, you guys are crazy. A month of fasting? You mean a month with no food, no drink? And we used to say, yeah man, mashallah. Not realizing that it's not a month of no food and no drink. It's a month in which, during the daylight hours, you don't consume food and drink. So that's the first understanding. When you tell people Ramadan is a month where we don't eat and drink, but you need to clarify that it's not the whole month without food and drink. It's every day during the month, from dawn to dusk. But at night, the restrictions are lifted. Mashallah. So that's the first point. When we're explaining Ramadan to people, we must realize that many don't know it's just from dawn to dusk, and that in the evening all restrictions are lifted. Yet it is still a month of greater goodness in every single way. You know, my brothers and sisters, if you look at intermittent fasting that is being promoted by the medical fraternity today, they say if you fast at least 2 days a week, it will help you, improve your health, and so on. We as Muslims already do this. From the time the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, made it clear that it was his practice to fast on a Monday and a Thursday. Is that not 2 days a week? And this has been happening from the very beginning. And all of us are encouraged to do the same. Then we also have 3 days a month of voluntary fasting. The 2 days a week are voluntary for those who want to achieve reward. The health benefit is just a bonus. But the spiritual aspect of it, the Sunnah meaning the practice recommended by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, although he didn't make it compulsory, is something we seek. We seek that reward. So there are the 3 days in the month, and then in the year, there is an entire month. The Almighty says, this month is mine. The month of Ramadan is mine. If you are going to fast correctly in this month and you are going to stand in prayer at night in the correct way, I will reward you with nothing short of total forgiveness. Whoever fasts in the correct manner in the month of Ramadan for the entire month, with full conviction in the Almighty, hoping for a reward from Him, all previous sins are wiped out. And whoever stands in prayer every night in the month of Ramadan with conviction, hoping for a reward from the Lord, will achieve the same reward of total forgiveness. So what happens? It commences with the sighting of the crescent, and it ends with the sighting of the crescent. When 29 days of the previous month of Shaban are completed, we go out at the time of sunset to look for the moon. We look for the crescent, and as soon as you see it, wow, I've seen the moon. Mashallah, there is a supplication to be made. O Allah, let this moon come upon us with ease, with goodness, with safety, with submission, with belief, with faith, with conviction, and so on. A beautiful prayer. You look at the moon and immediately you realize the month of Ramadan has just arrived. It is the month not just of fasting, not just of prayer at night, but the month of reformation, the month of spiritual rejuvenation, the month of enrichment in terms of your relationship with the Almighty. When Allah Almighty says in the Quran that He has prescribed fasting and made it compulsory, He doesn't even begin by talking about abstaining from food and drink. Listen to what he says. O you who believe, fasting has been made compulsory upon you, just as it was made compulsory upon the previous nations, so that you may achieve the correct relationship with Allah, your Maker. The term taqwa means God consciousness, developing the correct relationship with Allah. Some translate it as the fear of the Almighty. But there are different types of fear. I've explained this before, but for the benefit of those who may not have heard, when we say, fear your Lord, what do we actually mean? Someone might say, Allah wants you to fear Him. But what does that mean? Why should I be scared of the one whom I am worshipping? Scared of Him? There is supposed to be love, isn't there? Yes, indeed, there is supposed to be love. But when you love someone beyond a certain point, you fear hurting them, making them upset, making them angry, or doing something they would be displeased with. That is common sense. When a spouse loves his or her partner deeply, they don't want to say or do anything that would hurt even their feelings. What are you fearing then? You are fearing their anger? You are fearing upsetting them. You are fearing that the relationship may be damaged or affected negatively. That is fear born out of love. So when we speak about Allah Almighty, it means I don't want to upset Him. I don't want to be on the wrong side. That is called taqwa. I create a barrier between myself and the anger, or should I say the punishment of Allah Almighty, by doing the right things and staying away from all the wrong things He has asked me to stay away from. That is taqwa. So Allah does not go into detail about staying away from food and drink. He simply says you must fast. And the purpose of fasting is to achieve taqwa. There it is. That is why, as soon as the crescent is sighted, everyone congratulates one another. Messages start circulating. Ramadan is starting. And what is the first thing that happens? And the first thing you do is rush to the masjid to engage in prayer. That is how Ramadan begins. Ramadan begins before you even stay away from food. As soon as you see the moon, you start preparing and you rush to the masjid in order to begin prayer. And it is not just an ordinary prayer. It is a long prayer made up of many units. But guess what? It is not compulsory. It is voluntary, yet highly recommended. It was performed by the Prophet, peace be upon him, in a certain way, but it was never made compulsory, yet everyone observes it. It is called Tarawih, which comes from the word Raha, meaning comfort and ease through prayer. When you begin that prayer, it is between you and the Almighty. It is as if you are saying, here I am, beginning the month of Ramadan, promising Allah that I will take it seriously. This month will change me and make me a better person. I will become closer to the Almighty, more compassionate, and I will work on my character and my conduct. I will protect myself from doing what is wrong. So, mashallah, the month has begun. Ramadan has started. What happens next? Even those who are not very practicing, those who may feel distant from Allah, find that the month itself automatically creates a connection with the Almighty. You see people begin to dress more appropriately simply because the moon was sighted, and it is Ramadan. They say, this Ramadan, I am going to dress in a way that is pleasing to Allah. People know they are supposed to do this anyway. But Ramadan becomes a boost from Allah. One day you begin doing the right thing in Ramadan. And when Ramadan ends, by the will of Allah, and you continue doing the right thing. So if you have done something good because it is Ramadan, remember that the Lord in Ramadan and the Lord outside Ramadan is the same Lord. Let us try, inshallah, to continue even after Ramadan ends. Ramadan is meant to bring consciousness, awareness, and change that remains after Ramadan. What is the point of someone consuming intoxicants or engaging in major sins? Then Ramadan comes and they stop, only to resume those same actions on the day of Eid, the day of happiness and joy at the end of Ramadan. What was the point? You pressed pause. Ramadan ended, and you unpaused and continued exactly where you left off. That is not what Ramadan is for. Ramadan comes so that you exit it feeling that at least one major change has taken place. My brothers, my sisters, if you change just one major thing in your life every year that Ramadan comes, then by the time you reach 50 or 60, if Allah grants you that life, you will have changed 20 or 30 things, depending on when you began. Exactly. Fasting becomes incumbent, meaning it becomes compulsory upon one who has reached maturity, the age of responsibility. Mashallah. Once you are an adult, you should fast. May Allah make it easy for those who are beginning to fast. With our children, we usually encourage them gently and teach them how to start. We show them the importance of it. And there comes a year in their lives when they proudly say, "I fasted all my fasts." You should be genuinely excited, happy, and show them that you are proud because it is not easy. It is not a joke. Ramadan brings about a beautiful change because it carries the blessings of the Almighty. Ramadan was created as the best of the months in the lunar calendar that Muslims follow. According to Islamic tradition, we have 12 months, and the best of these months is Ramadan. Even more, the best part of Ramadan is the last 10 days. To be precise, it is the last 10 nights. And among these, the odd nights are the most special. Do you know why? Because during these nights, there is one night, Laylat al-Qadr, which is more powerful than 1,000 months. If you were to worship Allah and seek His forgiveness during this night, your reward would be multiplied so many times that it is as if you had worshipped for 1,000 months, approximately 84 years. But why did Allah not tell us the exact night? Why not say it is the 25th or the 27th? He left it for us to search. The term in Arabic literally means to seek or search for this night. He wants us to strive, to search, to prepare ourselves. And Allah knows best. Imagine if we knew the exact day. It would be like being told the exact moment of death. People would live differently, and perhaps many would delay striving until that moment. Similarly, if Allah told us the exact night, people might only prepare at that specific time and neglect devotion for the rest of Ramadan. Allah's wisdom ensures continuous effort, sincerity, and struggle throughout the month. So we appreciate His favors and remain engaged. The same principle applies to Fridays. Did you know there is a special moment on every Friday? Scholars refer to it as a moment or sa in Arabic. During this time, any sincere supplication is answered. Do we know the exact moment? No. But the solution is simple. Keep making dua throughout the day. Strive consistently in worship and supplication, and Allah will respond at the right moment. Imagine if people knew exactly when it would be. Businesses would shut down and people would only pray at that one time while neglecting the rest. Allah wants us to continue our devotion, to struggle and strive, and to appreciate His blessings. Many people only realize the value of what they have once it is gone. The same applies to faith, contentment, and connection with Allah. We must always strive to appreciate Allah's favors by showing gratitude through sincere worship and faith. Worship is not just a ritual, it is an acknowledgement of His mercy, a celebration of His guidance, and a demonstration of our love and reverence. Every prayer, every fast, every act of devotion strengthens the heart and builds a connection that continues beyond Ramadan. Fasting is not simply abstaining from food and drink. It is a training of the soul, a lesson in patience, gratitude, and self-restraint. Each time we feel hunger or thirst, we are reminded of our dependence on Allah and the blessings He has given us. Ramadan teaches us to cultivate empathy for the less fortunate, to purify our hearts, and to seek closeness to our Creator. May Allah grant us the ability to fast sincerely, worship earnestly, and strive for the blessings of Ramadan. May He make us among those who benefit from the night of decree, and may our devotion continue long after the month has passed. Mashallah, truly Ramadan is a month of transformation. It's in preparation and immense spiritual reward.